Welcome back here on Live Now from Fox, and you are taking a live look over on the runway at Atlanta Airport, one of the busiest, if not the busiest, in the country. Depends, of course, on who you ask. It's one of the busiest weeks for air travel, and airlines are preparing for a record number of travelers. The Transportation Security Administration has said that it expects to screen an estimated 30 million passengers from last Friday through early next week, and that is the most ever, they say. Keith Jeffries is the former federal security director at LAX and vice president of K2 Security Screening Group. He does join us now live to talk about everything travel related. As always, thank you so much for taking the time to join us here, especially this early on a Monday morning. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Josh. I appreciate it.
So first off, let's talk about some of the preparations. How do airlines, how do airports go about preparing for something of this magnitude?
Yeah, Josh, this process starts anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks out for most of your airports across the country, if not all of them. It's a huge collaborative effort from security personnel with the airlines, obviously the Transportation Security Administration, law enforcement, airline personnel, K9 teams. They discuss everything from overtime, what the threats may be, what the volumes are anticipated. They look at all of these things so that everyone's prepared so that the holiday season, especially at Thanksgiving, which is a precursor to the longer term holidays leading up to Christmas, they want to make sure that it goes well for all of the traveling public.
And how is the number of people flying this year expected to compare to previous years? Because we keep hearing record number. I feel as though we hear that a lot. But how does this compare to previous years?
Yeah, well, first of all, there's been at least 3 days, maybe even more, 4 volume days just in 2023 since TSA came into existence over 21 years ago. 3 or 4 record days this year alone. So airports across the country are expecting anywhere from a 10% to a 20% increase, depending on that airport and volume. So the great news is the traveling public is back. So this is a good day.
All right, so are certain airlines possibly a little bit more concerned than others, especially considering what, let's say, Southwest went through last year? We talked about that quite a bit when we had you on, but are there some airlines that are maybe just a little bit more concerned?
Well, all of your major air carriers will be concerned this time of the year, Josh, because this is certainly a test for not only getting people to their loved ones in a timely manner, but getting them there safely. Weather is always a concern, but obviously, as we experienced, as you mentioned last year, the technology at Southwest when it came to a scheduling issue with getting flight crews available. What a debacle that turned out to be. Again, Southwest did an excellent job of recovering from that, and no one wants to be the center of that bullseye leading up for this holiday travel season. But the number one thing everyone's going to be focused on, safety and security first for all of the air carriers.
How does security and security issues, how do those kind of compare now at this time of year versus, let's say, your everyday air travel day?
Yeah, great question, Josh. You know, all modes of transportation, whether it's aviation, rail, surface, maritime, all of these modes of transportation are certainly threatened throughout the year. Anytime you have record volume days, what a great opportunity it might be for some nefarious actor to try to do something to certainly disrupt that transportation system. So the security levels are certainly increased. You'll have a lot of folks out there supporting in both an overt and covert manner in all modes of transportation. And the main thing is that the public that's out there that is taking advantage of these transportation systems, you see something, say something.
All right, the question I always ask you here, what's the best advice that you have for folks who are preparing to fly for the holidays? Maybe not just Thanksgiving, but hey, we're about a month away from Christmas as well.
Yeah, and I really appreciate that question, Josh. The first thing I always say to the traveling public, make sure you give yourself plenty of time to get to the airport and be patient once you're there. It's stressful enough traveling, got a lot of things on your mind to get there. The second thing for those that are traveling in the aviation sector, if you have a firearm, make sure you know where it's at and it's not in your carry-on luggage, because that alone will disrupt a security checkpoint significantly. Another opportunity to take advantage of pre-check as it gets closer to the holiday season. Great stocking stuffer for those that might be interested in pre-check or global entry. And of course, know what you can and cannot bring. TSA has a terrific website out there where you can take a look at what's authorized and what's not. But mainly, happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Yeah, one thing that I always think about are the different images and videos that we get around this time where you see people bringing swords and things of that nature on the plane. And it's like, just check the TSA website before you head anywhere. All right, Keith Jeffries, thank you so much for taking the time to join us as always. Anything else that you want to add here before I let you go?
No, happy holidays to everyone. Be safe, safe travels.
All right, thank you again for taking the time to be here.
Thanks, Josh.
All right, everybody, and you are taking a live look once again over at Atlanta's airport, one of the busiest here in the country, only expected to get even busier as we do get a little bit further into the holiday season. This week is going to be busy, but just wait until we get closer to Christmas.